Hey everybody, this is Toby. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Hey, this week a great conversation with country megastar Walker Hayes. So you may know him from Fancy Like, his rocket ship to fame, but he has a new tour, the Duck Buck Tour, that gets underway this week, and he's coming to the Tampa area in March, and then it really kicks off in April through the rest of the summer. So you have to check out his website to see where the dates are. But really, we talked about all things fatherhood, religion, faith, his grappling with fame, his grappling with his family's fame. So it was a really cool conversation. I have to warn you, the audio can be a little bit sketch because he's driving as we're talking. So enjoy Walker Hayes. Bye.
My songs are really just about my life. So I'm glad I had 7 kids. I mean, that's like half an album right there. So
There you go. Yeah, that's definitely an EP, dude. Hey,
yeah.
so you won't remember this, but I interviewed you like November 2021, and the only reason I mention it is because I'm annoyed at your management team because I wanted to do Zoom because I beat you in a dance off about a year and a half ago.
That's funny.
So I think this is a ploy to avoid the rematch.
I got you. Maybe they're just embarrassed, and that's my thing, So I can't get shown up. We don't want to let the world know that I'm weak in that department by any stretch.
Well, I guess you're yeah. The dance and drive though, that's probably really unsafe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Don't dance and drive.
Nice, dude. Well, hey, let's get down to business, man. So you haven't been on tour for a minute, and now you're gonna go back on tour, the Duck Buck tours. Let's talk about that a little bit because I'm excited because you're coming in my neck of the woods to the Florida Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, man. I just get told by my team, what I'm doing. I don't wake up and call anybody and go, hey, I want to go on tour. That's my livelihood. And by the grace of God, it just gets bigger and bigger, And I'm grateful because I'm able to offer, more opportunities to my band. That's how they provide for their families is by us going to work. And what a job it is, that we're blessed and we get to do what we love to do to make money. But yeah, man, the break's been nice, but also that break kind of, it just strengthens that hunger, and again, the fact that these venues and like the Strawberry Festival, like it's bigger than the arenas, we were playing. So we're just all kind of on cloud 9 these days watching the growth. And again, I wish I could say that I woke up and I was like, hey, let's design a bigger show or but that's my team's job. I just write the songs and sing them and they tell me, where to go. But the Duck Buck Tour, man, it will be our biggest yet. And it's difficult to fathom what is bigger than the Glad You're Here tour. Cause in my opinion, and that's about as good as it gets, for an artist like me, we were playing arenas, basketball arenas, 10,000 people. It was pretty crazy. So, dude, I can't wait. Yeah.
Well, there's 2 venues, so I'm interested in the Strawberry Festival. We'll come back there because that's just selfish, right? Because I'm close to it. But man, you're gonna play Red Rocks? Holy cow! You been to Red Rocks?
Dude, I've never. No, I know.
So I took my family there on a trip over the summer. Man, I know I'm gonna get a video of you and all your kids trying to run up as many stairs as they can because that place is massive.
It's
massive,
and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And I heard I heard it sounds great. And so yeah, that's definitely kind of one of those bucket list venues. And then one for me is the Wharf down in
Mobile.
It's Gulf Shores, Orange Beach.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's where everybody. I mean that's where the biggest of the bigs.
Jimmy Buffett.
If you're gonna play a show down there, that the only thing next would be like somebody's stadium, I guess. But so we get to play that also. So man, there's a lot of stops that I know these are gonna be those memories, where I look back and I'm like, God willing, I get to play them again someday. But even if I don't, this is the summer. Like, this will be that year, you know. So
Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
we can't wait.
Man, that's amazing. So is the plan to have so I know the kids toured a lot with you. I'm not sure how that works logistically. So I'm a dad of a big family too.
Yeah.
Do you pack it up like one bus and you head out and they're good and they've been able to adapt and things, or is it more difficult than I'm giving you credit for?
No, I mean, it's not. Honestly, you know, I think a lot of people probably, they're like, how, like, logistically, that's got to be a nightmare. But you also got to remember, like, until a year ago, we were used to, like, just me being gone, you know, and I didn't never see my kids, you know, and then COVID hit, and I did. You know, I saw them for 400 days, you know, in a row, and that was unheard of in our house. And so when things got going again, we tried the bus thing, and it just, man, it's not easy. Like, you know, every Wednesday night it's 6 kids, 3 dogs, and my wife and a bus driver, and we, you know, he picks us up at the house, and dude, it's a nightmare. Like, I'm grabbing so many you know, it's like I'm grabbing school books, you know, cause we homeschool. So like each, you know, we've got a laundry basket full of books. I swear if my back ever breaks, that's why. And, you know, we load them up, and that the bus is never, like, it's spacious, but once you put us all on there, it's not anymore. And, but man, it's nonstop chaos, but we wouldn't want it, you know, it just beats the alternative, you know, which is, you know, just my wife kind of doing it by herself at home, and me, I'd be lonely on a bus, you know, by myself.
So do you get to see it? How does it work on the road? Do you guys get to see, like, when I take road, so I do a bunch of travel stuff, and we'll take the kids and go crazy, like we did Red Rocks and all that, and I'm in Florida, so it's a long way. Like, do you stop along the way and see stuff, or is it like all business, like get out, radio spot, meet and greet, boom, 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 school for the kids, you know what I mean? Do you get a chance to enjoy these communities?
We're the least industrious family on the planet. So, like, we're the type of family who would, like, go to Niagara Falls and wake up and be like, I just don't feel like walking down there. Like, it's a lot, you know? But we forced ourselves, you know, to take advantage of opportunities. Like, how many times in your life are we going to have all 8 of us at the Hoover Dam, you know? Mm-hmm. And so we kind of try to space it out, because it's exhausting. I mean, we wake up late, but we stay up so late. And but my daughter, she's one of the dancers in the show. Like, she gets paid. You know, my son is a drummer, so he's always like getting a lesson from my drummer. You know, my drummer Luke is so gracious and teaches him stuff. And so, like, I don't know, man. It just, we've found a really great rhythm. It's not for everybody, like, and it's not easy by any means, but it definitely beats the alternative. And we don't put a lot of pressure. Like, our main goal is to be together. And so whether that means we walk to Panda Express for lunch, or we got to see the gate to the west, you know, it's like, we don't really wake up going, we don't power through the days as like it's vacation. It's very like, hey, this is our life. So if we get to sit around and read a little bit together and spend time together, because it can become all business, and that doesn't work for us either, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
So we have to have realistic expectations, like, hey, let's see Niagara Falls and grab some Dairy Queen. And then you know, and then we'll get back, and you guys got to do school, you know, and you know, and so we've kind of been routine, but it is just, I truly can't describe it. It has been the biggest blessing. All of this, I can without a doubt. I mean, way above all that success has brought us. The biggest blessing is that I get to do this with my family. It's going to be a really sad day, when they all kind of go their separate ways,
Yeah, definitely, man. It is uncanny, right? It's probably atypical of your industry, right? To be traveling with such a crew and doing it. The headliner traveling with a crew, I guess, is probably okay. So at least you've catapulted yourself up to headliner quickly.
Yeah, no, that's a blessing. I mean, we did some opening with the family, and that definitely felt, I was like, kids, be wary of everybody's territory, and try to have respect for the headliner. Yeah, because we're a lot, like when 6 scooters pop out the truck and dogs are running everywhere, like we can easily, a lot of people will be like, whoa, what did we invite out here? I was just trying to get a good opening act. So, but we had, Kane Brown was been very, just so tolerant and patient with us. But man, I love it. I mean, I honestly, my wife she's the MVP. The fact that she does that, and that our life is such a deviation from the norm, and she does not for once crave normality or miss the structure that we had before this. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, without her, honestly, none of this is even possible. And it is, man, like you said, I don't know any other families that try, and honestly, man, I think not a lot of people give my kids credit, in the meantime.
That's what I was going to say. That's hard. I know when my kids, my line is about a week, and my kids start getting really gnarly.
Yeah. No, I mean, my kids, they miss out on all regular kids' activities. And I think everybody would agree, it's up for the debate what's actually good for a child that children normally do these days.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not here to say my family's way is better. Like I said earlier, our life is not for everybody, but my kids sacrifice a lot of opportunities to just be together as a family, and honestly, they make it easy to be a present dad, and and for that, I'm really grateful. Like they help, their sacrifices help me be present for them, because if they'd rather stay home and play sports and do these activities, that would be tough, and I wouldn't want to steal that from them.
Yeah. That would be a conundrum, man. I don't know what you do there. God. Hey, are you okay? Like time wise, I know you're in a crunch.
No, I'm great, man.
I don't want to take time away from them. Cool.
No.
Well, hey Walker, switching gears real quick, and then we'll get back to the music.
Yeah.
I've just read, thanks for writing this book with Craig Allen Cooper. I just picked it up. It came from Amazon Friday. I read it Sunday when we were at the soccer field. It's called Glad You're Here, if nobody knows about it. And I've been reflecting on it a bit, right? Because I think the book is designed to people to close it and go it doesn't have an end. It's kind of meant for reflection. So I've been thinking about it this morning as I was, prepared for this and thinking about what I was going to talk to you about. And being in the creative field like I am, I'm so damn jealous that you have a Craig. Because you know how this is, man. Like, I've been stacking up no's for a long time, and I'm like, for God's sake, I need a yes,
Right.
So but at the same token, I'm thinking, when I'm thinking about like a meet and greet situation, when somebody says that to you, like, man, I just need a yes, I just need a Craig. Like, what do you tell them?
For me, Craig, what Craig meant to me the most was just like, and this is, I don't know if this relates or like really helps you have an answer to this question, but I'm the type of guy, I think, especially like in Nashville, I had I'm just not going to do it like everybody else. And I'm going to see, Laney can attest to this. I will push someone away to see, just to see if they'll go away. Because if they go away, I was right. You know what I mean? Their love was conditional. And, that's not a great way to be. I'm not excited that's how I contend to be. Okay. But Craig was the guy that I couldn't push away. He was the unconditional love that didn't make sense. It made sense. What would have made sense was if Craig would have been like, man, you need to get your life together. You need to make smarter decisions. You need to be a better individual. You need to go to church more. You need to do this. Craig said nothing of that sort. He was basically the guy who hung with lepers, like he literally, I could not push him away. And man, Jesus exists. Whether there's a human in all of humanity that's going to do that for you, there is already that person. Now, God was merciful in packaging that up in a guy like Craig. And so that's what Craig meant for me. It's I met a human that Jesus dwelled inside. Now, I know Craig. Craig's not a perfect guy. He's not Jesus. But I felt the love of Jesus through Craig. Also, hopefully to answer your question is, Craigs do exist. Sometimes I think it's our pride that we are blind to those people in our life. I do think, when I met Craig and my heart began to soften and I began to learn to accept assistance, I reflect and I look back on my life and I go, Craig's not the first person that ever did me a favor. He's just the first one that I realized loved me, like it was love coming from him. And I think a lot of times we kind of tend to look at life gratitudeless, because we're looking for a certain type of answer. And again, a lot of people read that book and they think, man, weren't you so excited when Craig gave you the car? And I hope you're reading the book. I was not.
I know. I was surprised.
I was embarrassed. I was pissed. I don't care who you are. You don't give me a handout. I'm not that bad off. I don't need your help. But I drove the car home, and I saw the seat belts. I saw my kid's safety, and I had to look in the mirror and go, you know what? I couldn't provide that security for my kids, but Craig did. And so it was constant, like a daily breaking down of my narcissism and my pride, my I was so anti-Christian. I thought they were all hypocrites. And you know what I'm learning now? We are, and Christians need Jesus too, because I'm one of those. But yeah, man, to answer your question, I mean, I would love for everyone to have a Craig, but I would dare say, if you think you don't, I bet if you really step back for a second out of your circumstance and your situation, there are people placed in your lives that they've already existed. You're where you are right now because of them.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting point, man. I'm glad we talked about that. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things as a fellow creative where it's easy to read anything from a successful person and go and be a skeptic because of things like pride, and you're going like, yeah, it's easy to say now, but when you're pinning your car roof up with your daughter in the car, I wonder, you know what I mean? And that's what I walked away from the book going, man, like, I don't know where I stand with Jesus and the Lord and church, but man, I know that I need to, there are times when you need to rely on people more. That's kind of
man, I love what we're talking about now, because it's really been difficult for me to speak about my faith because my circumstances have changed. And man, if I can say one thing out loud to people, is that if you took away the loss of my daughter, if you took away my faith in Jesus, I would be devastated. If you took away all the success in the world, all the money Fancy Like has made, all of that stuff, I would say, take it. Just give me Jesus. And again, it's funny. I'm totally there with you. Like it's hard to read a book by the star quarterback of the Cowboys and be like, yeah, if you just do this, it'll all be okay. Because hey, not everybody is going to have a Fancy Like moment on this earth, and I just want everybody to know that is okay. That all that worldly stuff Fancy Like has provided, that's not what that book is about. You know, that book is about Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ only saving me from me. And all this Fancy Like stupid stuff, I mean, yeah, I'm glad my kids have food, but I'm telling you, that stuff, it has only made life kind of harder. And I could talk about that for hours.
Wow, that's interesting. God, I would love to talk to you about that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
man. Success.
Well, no, I totally feel you. Like,
I
imagine the demands. I mean, even trying to just talk to you for a few minutes, I know that, you know, when we talked a year and a half ago, it was far easier to do, and it wasn't easy then. So,
no, man.
Dude, I can imagine there's probably thousands of me.
Fame is an animal, and I mean I'll tell you this short story. Lainey and I it was like a month or two ago. We're driving home from Chuck E. Cheese. The AC in our car didn't work. The window was fogging up. It's cracked. You know, everybody's got, you know, pizza and nastiness on their hands. And I looked over at her, and there was one other family in the Chuck E. Cheese because we stayed so late, and nobody knew us for the first time in a long, long time. Yeah. And I said, Lainey, I said, I don't understand this, but I feel poor again, and it feels so good as we were driving home. And I don't know what that means. I don't know how to understand that emotion, but I do have a sincere feeling of like I miss before we were famous, you know?
I feel you. You know, I read just the quick blurb I read that I was trying to I was thinking to myself, I wonder how you're navigating this, because I tend to be the same way where I crave seclusion. I think maybe just being a writer does that, right? I got to sink back into my little, you know, cauldron and, you know, put my thoughts down. And now that you're so famous, and you still have that inkling, right, that you love the solitude that creativity gives you, and now you're so damn famous that I wonder, you know, how you're grappling with that. I feel for you in that regard.
Yeah, no, fame it's a nasty thing. Like it awakens things inside you, these insecurities where, like, let me give you an example. Like, you walk into a restaurant, and if 1 million people recognize you and want your autograph, you begin to feel used. But if you walk in a restaurant and no one does, you begin to be pissed that they didn't recognize you.
Oh,
and
wow.
then you look in the mirror and you're like, what an asshole. You know, you're like, this is just gross. Like it arouses this bipolar narcissistic monster inside of you. And you begin to wish, like, I wish I'd never tasted, like, I wish I didn't need this. You know, I don't want to hate me every day when I go through this boxing match of feelings, you know, and you're like, man, life was a lot simpler when I was just trying to be famous, you know? And so, yeah, man, but I think these are like, they're great things to wrestle with. And, you know, life is just, it's not enough, man. Like, it's just not, no matter where you are, there's somewhere else, you know, and just, it's a tough, you know, and for me, peace is in Christ. I mean, that's all there is. And I don't need, you know, that's funny. Like, circumstantially, I don't need another hit. I don't need to be saved from the burglar down the street. I don't need I need rescuing from my own nastiness, because I'm enough. Like inside me, there's enough wars going on with good and evil that's where, to me, that's what the book is about. Is I needed a savior from me first and foremost, not whatever's in the news.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so if that makes any sense. But bro, I could talk about this all day because I feel like trending wise, there's just an awakening going on in humanity, right now. People are eventually beginning to wake up and go, man, there's a car that drives itself and you can take a trip to the moon in a day and back. And, this culture is this and cancel culture is this, but nothing is fixing the human heart. And, you know what I mean? It's like, you can literally do anything. There's a bot now that writes songs by itself, but like, can you fix what's inside your soul? No.
Yeah, can you sing Tarzan with the microwave?
Right. Yeah.
No, I feel you. Like I tell my kids this all the time: is there should be points in life where you crave connection, and I think that's kind of getting at your heart comment, because they sink into, their Snapchat story or you're updating Instagram and how many likes and blah 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 blah, and that just gets so grimy to me. And and probably I've just selfishly from my standpoint, far smaller peanuts than you, but. You have something that hits and the audience likes it, right? And then you have something that doesn't, and then it's like, oh my God, and you just chase, and you never enjoyed what you actually had. So it's a really interesting phenomenon, and you're at like the biggest scale there ever was.
Dude, and on the subject of socials, look, I'm going to use them, but all socials are, and look, I'm not like, I'm no doctor at all this crap I'm talking about, but like from my personal experience, socials were the greatest Band-Aid for a human heart ever created. Every single one of us are so secure, so insecure that we love that the earth created a way for us to raise our hand and go, hey, look at me. Look over here. And you can even do it in a humble way. You can go, man, I was reading my Bible this morning. Check. Points for that. I came across this scripture. Oh, check. He's reflective. He's thoughtful. Just thought I'd share with you. Boom. He's a sharer. Love this guy. You know what I mean? And it's like, it literally fills all we are little kids running to our parents going, put this picture on the fridge, please. And then in a week you look at that picture and you're like, it's not even that good, Dad. Like, do you even really love me? I need a new picture for the fridge. And it's like, to me, look, and again, I can't get off socials. Like, I have no right to get mad at anybody for using socials. I'll be on there tonight, showing my family how amazing we are, and we're so fun, and it's like, but I will admit, all it is, it's just a little like acceptable, created cry for all of us to go, hey, I know you were looking at Joe over there, but check out my driveway. It's like, it just is, and that's humans. Like the human. That's us in a nutshell. And, I'll tell you what, dude, the day the Lord's sanctification is really getting a hold of me is the day you don't see me post. It's the day that I'm too caught up in a moment, with my children that I didn't even think to use it to glorify me or my career or my brand or, that's just. And
good for you, man. Good for you.
Know.
I mean, there's a lot of self-awareness baked into there, man, and you could easily have lost that along the way. I mean, I keep kind of adding in my own bias what I applied to your life, right? You're on this rocket ship of fame, blah blah blah. But no, I mean, there's a lot of self-awareness in there that I like, and that's your writing, right? I mean, everything I read in preparation is like, you did it differently. Your sound's different. Obviously, you can hear the sounds are different than traditional country stuff. You fight for airtime on country radio, even though you're selling out stadiums. It's crazy.
It is. That's kind of my curse, man, is I just can't. It's always been hard for me in my life, man, but I just can't fake, and
I hear you. Well, why is that? That's not a curse.
Well, it hurt, sometimes it can come across as insensitive, in my relationships. I mean, I can say things that hurt people's feelings, and it hasn't made it easier, for anybody trying to sell my music down into boxes, on again, country radio. I love country radio. I can't sound like everybody else. I could try, but man, it'd be like putting me in a straitjacket, like it's gonna be a fight, and I'm gonna kick and scream, and and it's not gonna, in the end, it's not gonna make it any easier for me, like,
yeah.
Imagine how many tickets I could sell if country radio wasn't hard, and so I think about those things, but honestly, man, I've always justified it and been like, it's kind of like being generous. Like, I struggle with generosity. Like, I have to pray and be like, I just want to be done generously. Like, if I go, hey, God, like, if I go poor because I gave too much away, is that a bad way to go poor? If,
yeah.
It's like, if Nashville kicks me out and I never succeed, is that a bad way? Well, at least I was honest,
Yeah.
And again, what I mean is, that doesn't make me easy to work with. And sometimes, man, I can just be wrong, and thank God I work with a team that's another thing. A lot of people are like, how do you stay grounded? Well, I'll tell you, like, what helps me is I have a team that doesn't lie. They don't pander to me. Like, I have a team that will say, hey, the song isn't great, Walker. You might love it and you might think it's creative, but you're not that good. And that's good. Like, I love that they don't get scared like, oh, he's going to fire me. He's big now. He's going to fire me if we tell him the truth about this song. I mean, they demand that I create the best I possibly can, and I trust. There's a level of trust there, but man, I could talk about this for.
I know. I'm sorry. I kept you too long too. Hey, before we close, because I could feel we need to go, and I could talk about it forever too, which is a tribute to like how just cool of a person you've been to me. Hey, listen. So we started this conversation talking about Duck Buck, the tour that's coming up. You have a date this weekend, but the date that I'm going to talk about quick is the one on the 2nd of March, right near me, at the Florida Strawberry Festival. Now, I'm assuming you've never been to the Strawberry Festival, but they're obviously known for, all the food associated with strawberries, okay? So
right.
We're gonna do a quick little playoff here, the Walker Hayes Strawberry Dessert Playoff, okay?
Let's go.
There's just 4 total teams, and you're gonna pick the winner of these. Okay, so you have Strawberry Shortcake facing off against Strawberry Cheesecake.
I'm definitely gonna go with shortcake first. I mean, I like cheesecake, but it's not like my go-to dessert.
All right, cool. That's a good answer. All right, Strawberry Milkshake versus Chocolate Covered Strawberries.
Ooh, I mean, I feel like Strawberry Milkshake's just a little bland, and chocolate covered strawberries are very like sexual. So I'm definitely, you know what I mean? Like I think like, you're doing something naughty. So like I'm gonna have fun with some chocolate covered strawberries.
All right, cool. Then we got shortcake versus strawberries. Winner?
The winner is chocolate covered strawberries.
Oh, man. Well, okay. Side meaning. I should have been. See, that's why you are where you're at, man. Like, I didn't even think of that double meaning writing the stupid game down.
Well, I feel like, and it's funny, you put, they're both great, but like you got, I mean, isn't there like a kid's book about strawberry shortcake, and then strawberry chocolate covered strawberries is definitely an adult book. Like,
that's not a kid's book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but hey, as you travel down here, man, just know, okay, this is your friend Tobin telling you.
Yeah.
Strawberry shortcake is now the official dessert of Florida, I believe.
Wow.
And that drove the theme of the Strawberry Festival. So
Let's go.
If anybody wants to kind of test your little cornal knowledge when you arrive in Plant City, you'll have to check it out.
Thanks for that too. I think that's awesome. That's great.
All right, dude. Hey, listen, I'm not bullshitting you when I said I could talk to you for a couple hours, but I know your time.
Dude, back at you. No, it's been an interesting year because I think a lot of people, after what's happened to me, a lot of people want this like motivational story, and I just have to, I can't reiterate enough that if anybody out there thinks if they could just be like the Hayes family, if I could just get a hit, if I could just have all my dreams come true, I would be okay, that's a lie. I just want and as much as people are trying to pull that motivational story, really what they need to do is just look around today where they are and realize it's not an accident, and that they're not going to look in the mirror and like themselves once they get to a certain circumstance, because that's just, I don't want to teach kids that. That's just not the answer.